Hey everyone, happy holidays to you, and welcome back to our ongoing Dungeon Crusade Christmas video series extravaganza. This is Roger, of course, and I hope everyone is doing great. Merry Christmas to you if you're just seeing this on Christmas. And of course, I hope you guys are doing great. I want to get right into this. I have some awesome news for you before we begin turn one of our playthrough, which I have been looking forward to chilling out and playing with you. But yes, our dungeon looks a little bit different. Surprise. I'm sure you know what this is from. This is something that I actually still love and grew up with, Hero Quest. So I wanted to just kind of bling out our dungeon for this playthrough. I broke out my old copy of Hero Quest and just put some props around the dungeon for you to make it more thematic. And I think it looks very awesome. So I just put it in places where there were props already painted on. So I thought, I think we'll have fun with that as we play. Also, do you notice something? I'm using a different camera, and I think the colors are much more accurate now. I think it's much more vibrant, more sharp. And so too, I wanted to give you this flyover. So tell me if you can notice a difference. I think already you can see everything. Like our snowy there is this more blue. The lights look great. And if you're looking back, all these colors. So everything I think looks good. Let me know what you think of the new camera. Okay, so let's get into this. I have some very awesome news for you. And let me get set up here. I don't mean to jostle you around, but I've used that camera that I've been using for years, and I can tell already just the colors, like over there on the fireplace where we decorated, it looks really nice, at least from this view. So tell me what you think. Again, sorry to jostle you around. Okay, welcome. I hope you enjoyed that little fly through of the dungeon. Okay, and I had to get my little note sheet here because I did have to tell you a few things. I am so excited to play this game, and I changed my strategy already for the Runes of Hamvir. So we're going to talk about that before we get to playing, which we're going to get playing in a few minutes. But I have some good news that I received. See, I'm upstairs. My studio room is downstairs, so I have to read the full email. But there's something that everyone's been waiting on. And I received word on it from the very awesome project manager. As soon as I'm done, I'm going to go look what this is. I think everything's a go. I'm going to make a video for you, of course, keep you in the loop and let you know finally that something's available. Stay tuned for that. Another thing is I've been talking to the very awesome Derek from the YouTube channel Kanjay Plays. Link in the description. Do me a favor, subscribe to Derek. He is the best thing since sliced bread. His playthroughs, everything he does on his channel, he is one of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. He covered Dungeon Crusade extensively when we were on Kickstarter. Thank you again, Derek. Everyone loves Derek. But the surprise is, tomorrow night I'm getting with him on Discord. He's preparing a solo Crusader playthrough like you're seeing here. And I am honestly very interested to watch this because, we're going to see our game unfold here. But as you know, this game is completely random from game to game. So what I'm excited about is his is going to start in a few days from now. I'm not sure when he's scheduling it. It might be next week. But it's going to be cool to watch this playthrough, then watch Derek, someone completely different, and watch how his game unfolds and like what choices he's going to make, what hero he's going to select. In the solo Crusader mode, what mercenaries will show up. So I think that's going to be a real good contrast from watching what we're doing here. Shoot over to Derek's channel and watch his solo Crusader playthrough. So I wanted to let you know about that. Check the link, go to his channel, check out what he's got going on. I promise you won't regret it. Okay, and since we're about to play, there are some people that didn't know that these exist. And I'm sorry, I just kind of plopped them down here. In the Pledge Manager, there's a link below. I love multiple difficulties in any kind of game. So when I designed all this, I wanted to have different difficulties. We are playing with, let me just grab a monster card here. Okay, here's our level 4 champion monster, a Crypt Fiend. Freddie Lopez painted this. I gave him some ideas and he just took it completely, knocked the ball out of the park. What a crazy looking monster. But I want to let you know about these difficulties. The game, all editions of Dungeon Crusade ship with normal difficulty. And you can tell by that, seems like there's a white glow behind its name and there's one skull. So there's 186 monsters and creature cards in Dungeon Crusade and just tons of different, variations. So we are playing a normal difficulty, the one skull there. However, in the Pledge Manager, that there is expert difficulty and heroic. And so you can tell, like our Wraith here, this is expert. Notice its name glows green. And I'm going to say again, I think this new camera looks very nice. Notice the two skulls, that's expert difficulty, and all the names glow green. Finally, here is heroic. Here's our overgrown Blackrock Viper. Notice 3 skulls, and the name glows blue. So these decks are available, and I'll give you, I'll put this in the description too. What you can do is, there's 2 different game variants where you could use these. You could take the normal difficulty monster decks and all of these and mix them together, in the appropriate level, of course, and category. And then when a monster spawns in, or, in the dungeon, in the chamber, you will never know what level will spawn. It could be normal, it could be expert, it could be heroic. So that's one variant you can play. And the other one is a very cool one where the monsters and creatures level up as your heroes kill them. And what I mean is, you start out playing with normal difficulty monsters. So let me just grab a minion here. Okay, here's our Goblin Footman. He's level 1, normal. Okay, well, say one of your heroes kills him. Okay, it's going to level up. You're going to go into your expert deck here and find the Goblin Footman and remove this, put this back in the game box, and then this is going to turn into an expert one. I don't want to dig through this huge pile of cards, but say you kill that expert Goblin Footman, you're going to go into the heroic deck, blue, 3 skulls, and a heroic Goblin Footman is going to spawn. So they kind of level up. So I just wanted to touch on that because I don't know how many people knew that these difficulty decks were in there. Same monsters, I know someone might ask this, same exact monsters, but you're going to notice this is like what you'd imagine, increased health. The warfare values are going to go up, their damage is going to go up, special abilities have a greater chance of activating, so on and so forth. So Pledge Manager, if you want to, up the game, normal difficulty is already pretty tough. I love hard games. So these things they're not pushovers, but I just want to let you know that these add-on difficulty decks do exist. Also, I want to point something out, especially for people who are getting the game, and I'm going to enable this option. Remember, this is kind of like, think of like an option switch in like a PC RPG game, that we are going to be using dual chamber monsters. So there's like level 1, level 2, and notice that the skulls get more evil as they go up, level 3 and level 4. What I'm going to recommend though, when you start playing, since there's 2 of these cards in each champion monster deck, go ahead and take those out, until you get acclimated to the game, because this really increases the difficulty, but we're going to leave each one in. And just basically what happens when our hero and mercenary enter into a chamber, and if we happen to pull one of these, not 1 champion monster, but 2 champion monsters reside in the chamber. So we're going to have a good time if one of these cards pops up. So we'll talk more about it, but I did just want to point that out to you about, you may want to take these out when you start playing until you get acclimated to the game. So just wanted to point this out to you. Okay, and we are about to start playing. I'm going to tell you my new strategy, what we're going to do here in the Runes of Hamvir, but I want you to know something, that the game comes with 2 different variations of these player aid cards that I wanted to provide to people. A Churn of Dungeon Crusade consists of the Upkeep phase, encounter phase, guardian phase, hero phase, and then the monster phase, and then it just goes back to the top of a new start of a new turn. Same thing. So very easy. But what's nice is you're going to notice there's something always to look forward to when you go into each of the phases. And so I want to let you know that's on here. Then, of course, here's your icons that you could refer to for those warfare types and what's on the monster card. And then finally, just the different attributes on a hero card. So there's your one reference card. And then this one, because of this is an open world dungeon crawl board game, I designed a quick reference card for what a hero can do on their turn. So here, this lists what they can do with an action, and then simply what they can do, what doesn't cost an action. And it's stuff you probably guys already know, like trading gear, things like that. So it's all right here for you. So these are very handy while you're playing. So I wanted to tell you, I think the format we're going to go with for explaining the game to you, I want to keep it really on the action. There's that whole great video series. I have a link in the description that I went really in depth and spent a lot of time teaching people the Avalon Adventure board game and Dungeon Crusade. So what we're going to do is, I thought we'll talk about something briefly when it comes up, and then next time it comes up, we're just going to keep rolling, because I already briefly explained it. But I'm telling you, if you watch this game, by the second turn, I think you're going to get it. It's a very easy game to pick up on, but of course there's a lot of strategy, tactics, planning, and it's just, who knows what will happen in this dungeon, as you will see. So I just wanted to point that out. Okay, let's get into playing, and let me tell you my strategy. Okay, so as you know, we're going to be completing our main quest first. Of course, you can do whatever you want. We could do the side quest first, but just me, I'm going to be doing the Baron's Wine, where we have to find the 2 bottles of sparkling cherry jubilee, and they're actually 2 bottles, and they're in this area right here, the ancient depths. But we got to go up to the spider lair, because remember, we have to find the onyx key that will unlock those doors. However, I want to do some exploring. I want to kill some monsters. I want to find a secret chamber or discover it, and I want to pop open a treasure chest. So the runes of Hamver here, we're going to be doing a lot on, in our first few turns, and plus I could show you a lot about the game. But I'll be honest, I want to do a lot of combat and pop open treasure chests. So we're going to come south here, and there's actually a treasure chest right here. It might be hidden from you, but it's right here. We have a chamber here with a level 1 champion. We're going to go in there because there's a crate. But then I noticed during the seeding process, this was populated, a level 2 champion monster with a crate. So I think we're going to go in there, have some fun, get into some trouble. So we'll go tackle this after this chamber. And then probably lastly, we're going to try to discover this secret room. So that is what we're going to do starting out. Let's talk about Matari, the other hero in the mercenary camp, and what I may do a few turns from now with you. Okay, and I wanted to let you know this, and my plan, or my tactics I'm going to use, and plus I could teach you something about the solo Crusader mode. You are allowed to hire a second and final mercenary with the solo Crusader mode. But when you do that, remember the initiative tokens. Maheliak has 3 of them, and Zeke has 3 of them. That can never be altered. They always are going to have 3. However, when you hire a second and final mercenary, you must split the initiative tokens in twos, meaning, Matari will get 2, Zeke will get 2, Maheliak will get 2. So that's how that works. And that formula can never be altered. You can't give her 5 and Zeke 1. Each of, the 2 mercenaries, the hero gets 2. So I wanted to point that out. So we may, in a few turns, because I want to get you acclimated to the game before bringing another mercenary in, we'll give 300 gold, because that's the cost to hire the mercenary at level 1. We'll give 300 gold to Albus. He'll run back to the village, or rather the mercenary camp, pay the 300 gold, and we'll bring Matari in. And these are special abilities right here, and I just want to point one of them out to you, and again, something you may want to consider in kind of like a pro Crusader tip. There's her weapon, if you want to see that. She starts out with Bandit Blade, And another reason I want to bring her in, notice her warfare, since you're kind of acclimated to this. She has a +3 to mythical warfare. That's really, really good. So she can handle, monsters who are versed in mythical warfare. And then, just like Zeke, she's not very good with physical or chaos, but she's okay with spiritual and ranged. So this would be a great mercenary to bring into our party that could do a lot of good. But the one I want to point out to you, and again, I can show you the special abilities, so we already know what's going on with these. When I flip it over here, level 1, Enchanting Hymn is a really good one. So let me describe what this is. Right here, see the 3, green 3? That means that she has to spend 3 life force and use enlightenment. Basically, a hero can't do anything on their turn but when they're getting a new ability. So she spends the 3 life force, and then she could gain this from the academy. That's the casting cost, essence. That's that bar at the bottom of their hero card. So she has to spend 3 essence to cast this. It's level 1. Then notice the little door. That's a chamber door. And what this is telling us is this can be used in a chamber of the dungeon. This here is a corridor of a dungeon. See, it looks like a little corridor or a dungeon. Means this can be used in the dungeon also. If one of those had a red X, that means you can't use that in that particular area. And quite simply, the red arrow means this must be channeled after use. Channeled, think exhausted, tapped back in the magic days. So after Matara uses this, it has to be churned upside down, channeled. During the upkeep phase, turn it right side up, it can be used again. It's that symbol. It's simple, but notice this special ability here that when she activates it during the hero phase, all warfare rolls the heroes make during the hero phase gain +2. And Enchanting Hymn has a radius of 4 spaces around the bard when activated. And line of sight is not needed to gain this benefit. So even if she's parked outside of a chamber and we send Zeke and Mahaliak in and she activates this, they can benefit from that because line of sight's not needed. So I think you learned a lot just with this right here. Let's get into the upkeep phase, then the encounter phase. Let's go back into the dungeon. Okay, and we are going to run through. At the top of the turn is the upkeep phase. Now, I'm not going to do this next time. We're just going to roll right through it, but I'll briefly go over what you do in the upkeep phase. And referring to our player aid card, notice right here for upkeep. Well, you already know one thing. If the heroes had any special abilities, we would unchannel them, like we just looked at with Enchanting Hymn. They don't have any special abilities, so we're going to move on. If any hero has a lit torch, this gives +2 to their base movement. You're going to roll a d12. On a result of 1 or 2, the torch goes out. So you'll have to put it over by the village board for it to be replenished on Celebration Day. Very simple. If any of our heroes have any of these 2 afflictions, we have to process them. As of right now in the game, these are the 2 that you'll have to process: bleeding and poisoned. And it's very simple. If your hero is bleeding from an affliction, they're going to lose 1 health in the upkeep phase. So you just, mark their health down by 1. If your hero is poisoned, they're going to lose 1 essence. And you remember, you got to watch your essence level. Real quick, Ochre Juice tokens. I will grab those real quick so you can see it. How do you restore a hero's essence? They can consume an Ochre Juice potion. And on the back, restore 6 essence when consumed. Very easy. So, and let's see if you remember, how do you cure an affliction? I heard someone say it. I really did. Consume an elixir. Doesn't matter if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 afflictions. Hopefully you don't get that many afflictions. Elixirs purge a hero's body of all afflictions. Okay, we're not going to discuss this right now, but it's when all of the quests are completed for like quest table 1, we would interact with the teleport track to teleport them back to the village for Celebration Day. We're not nearly at that point, so we're not going to discuss that. But The final thing, and this is my favorite thing, is we're going to place the initiative tokens or give them out to Maheliak and Zeke, and this is how they're going to activate during the hero phase. Okay? Let me show you one thing. So when you are planning out your grand strategy and your tactics and your strategy, when you're about to place the initiative tokens, what you're going to do is survey the dungeon. You're going to look at what quests you want to complete or what you want to do, basically. And it's an open world dungeon crawl game, so there's a lot you can do. So you always want to consider how you want to lay those initiative tokens out. Also, you can rally heroes to help you out. That's where the true party building comes in, and it has to be consecutive with the initiative tokens, meaning if you give one hero 2 and he wants to rally hero with initiative token 3, you got to make sure that other hero has initiative token 3. We're going to see that, but just I wanted to point that out. You survey the dungeon, think about what you want to do, and then lay out your initiative tokens or distribute them to your heroes. Well, we already know what I've already told you. We're going to be in the ruins of Hamvir, and we're going to do a lot in here. So I just wanted to point that out. So let's go back over here and give out those initiative tokens. Okay, and we're going to make it really simple. Who do we want to act first? Well, I want to use Maheliak first. Okay, we're going to give him initiative token 1. And my strategy is I want to move him down to that chamber where there's that level 1 champion monster in that crate. So then let's move Zeke right behind him. Let's give Zeke initiative token 2. Guys, this is really as simple as it is. And then initiative token 3, we're going to give this to Maheliak because we're going to have him move into the dungeon and then rally Zeke. So that will go to Maheliak, and of course Zeke will get initiative token 4 to answer the rally call. So at that point, they're going to be already in the chamber ready to combat that champion monster. We have 2 initiative tokens left, right? Hopefully, because you never know in Dungeon Crusade. I feel confident about beating whatever's in that chamber, okay? So I'm going to give initiative token 5 to Maheliak, and I want him to go around the corner out of that chamber because there's that treasure chest. So we're going to give that to him. And then Zeke, I think we're going to give this to him. And of course we do, because remember, 3 and 3. He is going to try to discover that secret chamber, the secret room. So you can see already with the solo Crusader mode, just with this, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff just in one turn. Okay, let's head over to the dungeon, because the next phase is the encounter phase. And we'll go over to the encounter deck and I'll describe that real quick. It's very, very simple, but again, this is the first turn, but I want to show you guys because I truly care about you guys and I want you to know about this game. So let's go over to the encounter deck. Okay, we are in the encounter phase, and quite simply, you draw the top encounter card and process it. And I want to say this was one of my favorite things to write, were all the encounters. We won't get into the setup of it, but there's 87 unique encounters, and it's generated randomly every game, except for the interludes. There's 10 interlude cards where you mix 30 other encounter cards randomly in. So it's a deck of 40. Interlude cards are like a breather for the heroes. And you actually, when you do the setup, you take, you put the top interlude card on top, and then you mix the other 9 in. So I can tell you when we draw this, it's going to be an interlude card. So it just kind of starts the game off easy for you. But then all the rest, it's randomly generated. But there's interludes, and then there's events, and then there's challenges, and there's environment changes. So I'm sure we're going to see a good amount of those, but I did want to take the time and explain that. So we're going to draw the top card, and as I said, it will be an interlude for the first turn. It's always going to be like that. And I wrote 10 different interludes for this. So let's see, this one says, light cascades into an adjacent chamber, revealing skeletal bones and broken weapons where perhaps a battle took place long ago. I love like creative thematic writing. So this is done. We're going to set this aside, and then we'll shuffle this deck when on turn 2, and we'll see what comes up. But there's some crazy stuff in the encounter deck. There's some great stuff, there's some really bad stuff, and everything in between. So next, we're going to move into the Guardian phase. Okay, we are in the Guardian phase now, and quite simply, this is the Guardian spawn track, and this is where we're going to see if a Guardian is going to spawn into the dungeon. And again, because I want to show you guys this, we're going to go back to our scenario page, and hopefully all this will start clicking together. Guardian spawn track. Remember, here's novice, easy, normal, all these different difficulties. We're playing on novice, so we have the marker set on 20. And what that means is when we roll the d20 on a result of 20, a Guardian is going to spawn. If it's 19 or lower, no Guardian is going to spawn, and you're going to move that down by 1. So as you can see, as the game goes on, there's more of a chance a Guardian is going to spawn into the dungeon. So you can set that to whatever you like. And even you can go off this if you want to play with it right on 11 and load up the dungeon with 4 Guardians or 6 or even 8, go for it. But that brings me to the next entry, Guardians per quest table. And remember this, kill the Guardians. So when our mercenary and hero kill the quota of Guardians, this quest is finished. Close the book. And I hope you like me taking the time as we're playing, for this first turn to point this out, because you're going to learn a ton about the game, in this first turn. So Guardians per quest table. Remember our quest tables 1, 2, and 3. We talked about this. We're going to spawn 2 Guardians per quest table. So when we do hit, say we spawn 1 now. If we roll a 20, we're going to spawn a Guardian. We're going to move it down. Next turn, we hit 19. Another Guardian spawns. That's it. No more Guardians will spawn because our quota is 2. Once those 2 Guardians are slain, we're going to close the book. That quest is complete. See how that works? Okay, but I'm glad I pointed out these entries in the scenario books. That's quite simply, what that is. Or you could have more Guardians spawn if you want, with the difficulties. So let's get into this. We're going to roll. And watch me roll a 20 after talking about it. No. So it's a 4. Okay, so what we're going to do is just move that down. And guys, it's that simple. Guardian phase is over. Now, the hero phase. Okay, we are going to move our heroes into the runes of Hamvir. And again, I hope that you don't mind me taking the time for turn 1 to explain this, because you're good. You're going to learn most of the game probably in this video. So here's initiative token 1. And let's go over his hero card real quick. Here's his hero card. Oh, let me point out, you may already know this, level 1 hero. We'll get into the CR rating later on. See the white circle? That's his starting health. It can never go higher than this. Here is his starting essence with the white circle. So that's where you put your card clips. Movement. Heroes use a d6 plus their base movement. So this is a d6 plus 2. And I'm going to say something because some people have asked this, and I'm sorry, I got to tell you this. The reason I have a roll of a d6 is this. I wanted to make it almost like a simulation. I wanted Dungeon Crusade to be arcadey, for lack of a better term, but I wanted it to be a simulation. So consider when you have a low result, like 1 or 2, maybe the dungeon terrain is like there's holes in the floor, there's clutter, or there's a coffin in the way. And, it's going to obstruct your hero from moving. Where a high result, maybe it's a clear shot and they can, go faster. So that's why I have the roll of a d6, to be completely candid with you. Also, hero movement, I think I said this before, they can only move orthogonally, meaning they can move, up and down, left and right. They're never permitted to move diagonal. However, they can attack diagonal. Okay, so we're going to roll. And remember, initiative tokens, that's 2 actions for a hero. So with all this, that's why this mode runs super, super quick. So we're going to roll and adding the 2 to this. And he's going to move 4. You can jump over heroes, fellow heroes in Dungeon Crusade and monsters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that was it for this. And remember, he has one more action. So we're going to roll again. And this is his final action. We're going to move into that chamber and rally Zeke. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now let me point something out. This was a big misconception. I should have waited till we got to a quest, but notice how this monster token is revealed. That's fine. But when you enter into a chamber, because I may forget later, and it's this side, and there's a quest item, you are never permitted to reveal this until you rally the heroes you want. Then, you declare, okay, I have my heroes, I'm going to reveal this. Then you flip this over. You are never permitted to have a hero go in and check out what champion, what level the monster is, and then rally. So remember, these are only revealed when it's this kind of swirly side, when all the heroes are in the chamber for the rally call. So initiative token 1, that's done. Mahaliak's in there, and he is rallying Zeke to come in there to fight. So we're going to get initiative token 2. And I'll show you real quick that Zeke, his hero card, we have initiative token 2. And just like Mahaliak, he has a base movement of 2 plus the roll of a d6. All of them have a d6. So let's roll for his movement. I don't knock anything over in the dungeon. That's great, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I did forget something doing all this. Remember that when you rally a hero, you have to pay 1 essence. So, sorry I forgot that because I was explaining. So there you go. I paid the 1 essence. That's for the rally call, to call out to your comrade to join the fray. Okay, so that's done. So what we moved him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now the battle can commence. What we're going to do is what I did, and I really like kind of this format. We're going to go over to the combat table, and we're going to use the battle board to kind of zoom in on the action. And I really like doing that before, and I got a little surprise for you over there. So let's go over to the combat table, as we're calling it, and see what these guys are going to be fighting.